Hey, good morning. My name is Jared. This is Justice's Waiting Room. This is a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. And I'm a socialist. And I know you're like, but socialism's bad, man. And I just wanted you to know that I just think that your teachers in school were not excited to teach you about the potential um, positive impacts that socialism would have on your life. And I want to speak specifically to what happens when you're over the age of 18, meaning an adult, and you experience socialism. And I'll do it. I'll go ahead and do it. Um, Everything has gotten more expensive over time, and the base wage has not risen. And so, in order to put money into savings, um, 20 years ago, so think about where you are right now financially. I want you to think about this. In order to pay rent, utilities, insurance, car payment, name your bills, cell phone, okay? I had to work two full-time jobs. I mowed yards 6 to 3, and I worked security, and I slept literally like very little. I took a nap during the day and then slept like 6 hours. I only made it about 6 months, 5 months. It's an impossible task. So for everyone out there that's like, socialism isn't going to help me in that situation, and it's like, let me explain how I got to the point where in 2004, 20 fucking years ago, because of the rising cost of goods and the stagnant wages, okay, there was a gap where my weight, like I had to literally get another full-time job in order to make up the gap. And my girlfriend worked a full-time job too and a part-time job just so we could put money in savings in case something happened. Okay? It didn't make it 6 months. It's literally impossible. Why do you think people become comedians? Why do you think people become musicians? Because they find out the fucking hard way that your wages, if you're not putting yourself into correct jobs and you're just the kind of guy to just show up somewhere every day, you're going to end up working in a kitchen and making less than $20 an hour 20 years later. Ask me how I know. I've met head cooks in the kitchen working full time, making less than $20 an hour with 20 years in the job. No benefits, no insurance, none of that shit. No time off, none of that shit. Was there every day. Dude been there. He'd been at that comedy club, I believe, for 8 years when I met him. So think about um, what you could do with socialism in that spot. First of all, socialism socializes your housing. So what then happens is you take the average rental rate and the average home ownership rate and you even it out, which shouldn't raise anyone's rent. It should only serve to lower it. Okay? And what will happen is when I don't know if you could automatically just put a couple $1,000s in your pocket a month, what that would do for you over time. One thing I can tell you is it's not stuff. Like people talk about searching for enlightenment and shit. Have somebody put $2,000 a month in their bank account and see what happens. Here, I'll tell you. Increased productivity. People have better behaviors faster when money is no longer the problem. Did you know that the average blood pressure of a teenager growing up in a household making less than $30,000 is higher? Their resting blood pressure of a teenager in a low income house is higher than that of someone in a medium income. 20,000 more dollars a year. And that's what socialism does as a base. Is it gives you about 20 to $25,000 a year to help you keep the lights on. Or for most people, it allows them, because most people are living paycheck to paycheck. They're paying all their bills. All their bills are on time right now, right? Assuming that their benefits aren't being affected. So you can kind of see where I'm going with my conversation if you're paying attention, right? I'm talking about right now, very calmly, I'm talking about what happens when uh, social services don't work or aren't being paid for anymore. One of the things that socialism would do, for example, is it would remove the need for things like Medicaid and Medicare because it would eliminate your costs for healthcare. And keep this in mind. One of the arguments that I have is that socialized healthcare doesn't work. People are just stupid and ignorant and have no idea what they're talking about. You wouldn't know what socialized healthcare was if it hit you in the face, and that's the fucking VA. Okay? So I want everyone to have, and this is if you're a veteran, you'll laugh, VA level healthcare better for free. I think everyone, I'm saying it with straight face. I think you ought to be able to walk into a clinic if you got a problem and not walk out with a bill or be refused service because of your choice of healthcare provider. That's fucking stupid. Any living person should be able to walk into any healthcare facility and get treatment and get dismissed and discharged and worry about all that money shit later, man. Hippocratic oath type shit. My mom worked in healthcare for most of my life. I grew up in a nursing home next to a library. Spent most of my early childhood development in a library and in a nursing home. One of the things that I learned as a very young age that people will absolutely work jobs they hate and work with people that they hate. So when you ask me, for the record, how do we get to this spot? Oh, when I was like under 16 years old, I found out that people work at nursing homes that hate old people and hate the nursing home community. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of people that love it, but far too many people settle, and it's not just settle for something that you are okay doing. I found out when I was a little kid, like people will absolutely work jobs they hate, that don't pay like shit, hate the industry they're in, type shit. So one of the things that socialism has done when put in practice is it's let people choose their vocation. So hold on. Did you hear what I just got done telling you? I found out when I was a little kid that not only will people work jobs that don't pay well. Good morning, everybody. People will work jobs that don't pay well, but they'll work jobs they don't like doing for a group of people they don't like for years. And one of the things that socialism and my socialized healthcare and my socialized housing and my socialized income that I get as a result of my service has allowed me to literally choose my vocation. What do I want to do for a job? I want to be a football coach at the Division 1 or NFL level. Why, you ask? I football is my longest relationship. I know it. I know her the best. I think that the role of a head football coach is in scouting and developing talent, and it pays a lot of American dollars, which lets me literally offer to pay for my little socialist antics the rest of my life, with no impunity, right? Like who's gonna be mad at me? The badass football coach that knows who to hire and knows what kinds of kids to recruit to play football for him and wins as a result. Oh, you get a big mouthpiece. You know, I want people to understand part of what drives me is that my battle buddy was murdered while I was on active duty. And for a decade after I got out of service, they told me that he'd killed himself and they gave him an other than honorable discharge. And my life mission is to overturn that other than honorable discharge into an honorable discharge. Because again, RJ Rady was murdered. And I figure if I become, I don't know, the greatest football coach of all time, maybe fucking someone will listen to me and help me. And then once it happens, I can just keep it fucking moving. That's just like the mission, man. So always go back for your friends, right? So even in their death, even in their death, even when Wounded Warrior Project says they won't help you because it's not to your end. Did you hear that? Did you hear what I just said? So as these social services are interrupted and people are put in harm's way, I just want you to know that socialism is an economic and political philosophy encompassing diverse economic and social systems characterized by social ownership of the means of production as opposed to private ownership. So think about removing Citizens United. Think about banning stock trading. Think about term limits and think about how that's socialist. Okay. The social ownership of the means of production. And if you think it's not the president and Senate and House and otherwise known as Congress, if you think they don't absolutely have insane amount of money at their disposal, that not only could um, use some socialization, right? That makes logical sense. Because what's happening now is billionaire CEOs who have made all of their money off the backs of much smarter people. The doers, the engineers, the fucking what, but basically all the engineers. Yeah. So a lot of the other things about socialism that, as I become more educated on the subject matter, I realize like no, the American Socialist Party seeks to eliminate Citizens United, ban stock trading, term limits. What's the other one? Oh, we don't want outside money. Get rid of AI Pack, get rid of RT, right? Because that's basically how I feel right now, looking at the situation before much more actions taken. Right now, it feels like Russia versus Israel in the United States government. Think about the percentage of Democrats receiving money from AI Pack. Think about, for the record, it's all of the Republican Party. So before anyone says, like, oh, Republicans aren't as bad, no, every single Republican is an AI Pack member. And over 100 Democrats take AI Pack money, including Hakeem Jeffries, who we all love so much. And as we find out more about this Ken Martin, my concern again is that he's also a Zionist and is for the further destruction of Gaza and ultimately the settlement of Gaza. They are all, I think they all, I don't know about, oh, let me put a pin in that. A lot of people are starting to reach out to me and saying that the Democrats have been blackmailed. No, no, they would be complying more. They're complying just enough that it feels like they're headless a rudderless boat. I think obviously it'd be really nice just to get a drop, you know? We need a drop. What do I mean by a drop? Jack Smith's Volume 2 report. What up, Crush? Boy. Good. I'm glad USA protect themselves. I saw the FBI field office in New York standing up. Something, bro. It's getting tense. Yo. So let's get the show started. You know how we do. Um, Fucking wild times. Oh, I wanted to apologize. There are a lot of not just people from my Discord, but people are starting to crack publicly and are starting to say like, "Hey, I thought you said XYZ was going to happen, and I just want to apologize with my whole heart and say I'm sorry that I thought the rules applied evenly to everyone eventually." And so and I think we're just going to have to stomach it until we get to that. And I just want to make sure I say that along the way. As like shit happens, there's no recourse, and I'm just like, hey, I thought the fucking rules apply to everybody. You know, I thought for sure. For example, let's just hash this out. I thought when Elon Musk cut off Starlink to Taiwan, that would just be it for him. I'm sorry that I thought that was treason because Taiwan is our fucking ally. He has government contracts. What are we talking about? Now we find out very late in the game, I think. Very late in the game, by the way. We find out that within 2 weeks before the election, Elon Musk put up a network of 200, 300 fucking satellites. A network of satellites. All which contribute to Starlink, all which ultimately were used to tabulate votes in this election. And for the record, I got called out by that. For the record, I got called out for that. So as we go through this, and again, I apologize now. I honestly thought some shit was gonna pop off yesterday. You know what I mean? Now it's February 3rd. It's sort of like the day of. I woke up this morning to find out that the IT team that Doge used to hack the Treasury were all white cis males from the United States under the age of 25. And Elon, me finding that out wouldn't be so crazy if Donald Trump hadn't tried to ease sexual assault rules in schools. And so now that you know that Donald Trump tried to pass a law easing sexual assault rules in schools, and then find out not even 2 days later that Elon Musk's IT team is all under the age of 25, my brain immediately was like, okay, how long does it take to learn that shit and plan that shit? Did did you hear what I said? If they're all under 25, how long does it take them to learn how to hack into the treasury and plan that shit? and tell me that he didn't groom the fuck out of them kids. And how is he not arrested? Arrest him. He's a groomer. Like, come on. If that was a fucking Democrat, he'd be handcuffed and fucking being questioned right now. He'd be questioned already. It's a coup right in front of our eyes. That's my name. Here's war. Oh, and also, somebody hit me up yesterday and was like, "Yo, we're going to war with Mexico." I haven't heard enough of it to say it very loudly, but open face coup right in front of you. Well, I hope it's not true. I hope the person that told me that is wrong. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong. That's why I said I don't know enough. They were talking about a couple different cities that make sense. I hope they go down there and do nothing. Hope their cartel gets run off. The cartels run off and that our boys are just chilling in the sun. Another wasted year in the desert. I can't empathize directly, but I can only imagine how it feels. It's really sad. A day without immigrants. So Minnesota businesses are taking part in a nationwide movement on Monday. A day without immigrants. What? Good. So, hey, as we do every show, yeah, Viva la Mexico. Some of my closest friends from my career are from Oaxaca, and I've been to Mexico with people from Oaxaca. Not to Oaxaca. We were in Playa del Carmen. But those people, they're light skin, black hair, brown eyes, fucking all beautiful people. Got about 30 people in here, about 35 total on this Monday morning. Hey, while we're talking about it, hey, try to get 8 hours of sleep. Take a nap if you need it. Drink water. Eat right. Exercise. Probably. You're probably going to get better results if you split your lift. I've got my wife napping. She she feels better later in the day, you know. And if you don't know, now you know. Nationwide protests are happening right now. It's as you could do this from your couch. The most impactful thing you can do is stop using Meta tools. No Facebook, no Threads, no IG. Get Facebook Messenger off of your phone. You need to get rid of WhatsApp. You need to get rid of Twitter. TikTok's on the chopping block. Once Neptune and or Skylight come out, TikTok is a thing of the past. I'll start the fuck over somewhere else. I have no problem doing it. Good to go. Clapper will be our backup to TikTok. Okay. Whenever we're not co-streaming on TikTok, we'll stream on Clapper, and then YouTube will be our old standby. The one thing I will say about YouTube is that they censor the title to all of my videos that I post. They take it all out. So right now, I'm not happy with YouTube. But I think if Elon Musk can teach a bunch of kids under the age of 25 to hack into the US Treasury, then he could absolutely hack our election. I can't get any videos to really move on YouTube. Oh, you mean like to do numbers? Subs is the play. Yeah. I'm not I'm not off YouTube yet. We have to have a replacement for this, right? We just don't have there's not a replacement for YouTube. Mass data storage. One of the things that I learned while I was going back to college is that all businesses are just in the business of gathering data. The more data you have, the more you have to sell, the more your company will be worth over time. So it's like you could literally do anything that you want to do, you could do within reason. Yeah. It's about subscribers, because then like a percentage of your subs watch all your content. So like now what I way I think about it is like 8% of my subs watch all my shit. And so I have like 1900 or something subscribers on YouTube. I'm only really expecting like 130 to 150 views internally, and then one day I figure the people that are ardent supporters will realize that I can't be the only one sharing my content with the world, and that's how we grow the movement together, is to interact. And I do a terrible job of returning the favor, but at least I can fucking talk about it and say like, hey, if you, for the record, if you're wondering why there's only 34 people in here, consider that I forgot to post we're live with Justice's Waiting Room, a daily podcast discussing news and politics. Join the live interactive chat on YouTube here. Share, right? That's so dumb. I want to. Okay. I know what I need to do. Go back to YouTube. Sorry, I'm a little frazzled this morning. I woke up and the first thing I fucking saw was that Elon Musk hacked the treasury with a bunch of kids, man. And there's a million reasons that it did not vibe with me at all. Um, I immediately was like, 8 years, 6 to 8 years it would take. He groomed the shit out of those kids since they were like 16, 17, 8 years old, minimum. And he's treasonous. How about Elon is a groomer as a tag? Right? It's like, what the fuck is the DOJ doing? But understand that that's the reason that I've been talking about the ICC so long, why HR 23 is on the table, why they're trying to limit the scope of the ICC is that for certain crimes, the ICC exists to prosecute when you fail to do that. And so understand that I think that's what eventually happens is the ICC lays charges and eventually these motherfuckers think they get away with it, dog. So here, you want to help? Share this, please. Like it. And some angry white dude talking about like we're gonna take the gloves off, we're gonna meet them at their level, and it's like they're traitors. And you're gonna go work with them and buddy around with them. Hey, have you ever heard this before? If you walk into a room and you see a Nazi, and the other 9 or 10 people in the room don't have a problem with that, you're in a room full of Nazis. So the problem is that, again, I expected, obviously for the record, Congress is in recess. So part of the reason that Donald Trump got to sign all these bills is because he's sitting in the fucking White House. Nobody's working. And then Elon's bragging about how the Fed don't work on a weekend. Thank you. So yeah, the thing that bothers me the most is I try to think about when I make my content, who is most impacted by Doge getting access to the treasury today. Wednesday maybe. So think about this. Think about this. What does the treasury hold other than $6 fucking trillion, Jared? I'll tell you. Snap, that's food stamps. I've been sent videos by people showing me that when I went to bed last night, I had my benefits. When I woke up this morning, the website's down. How am I supposed to get groceries? I don't know if you've seen those videos yet. Okay. I've told you, people that are disabled are going to die. I've already told you this. Hey, I just told you If you walk into a room and you see a Nazi, Pete Hegseth, and there are 100 people in that room and they aren't all on his ass, you're in a room full of Nazis. We have a problem. Do we not? I'd be calling him a Nazi every time I fucking saw him. Same thing with fucking Donald Trump and Elon Musk. They should be treated as Nazis, tried as Nazis. Their day is coming. So, shit, man. I encourage, hey, this is what you use your platform for. I encourage everyone to stop your federal withholding. Call your employer. It's completely within your purview to do so. And tell them you want them to stop paying your taxes. You'll just pay it all at the end of the year. Set aside the difference in a separate account. It will affect your taxes paid and owed at the end of the year. But ultimately, you could pull the money out. You could pull your paycheck moving forward. It's People have been doing this for a long fucking time. Call until if money gets really tight, you can't get a new job. Yep. I'd like to think justice is coming and that they've been planning in silence and that Chris Murphy ran a Trojan horse when he said Democrats were scared and shit because that fucking baffles me. How you'd get into fucking politics and cower because you're scared about your personal safety? Bitch, you're in danger. You're in danger before you became an elected official. Like, think about AOC's pretty ass. Like, she wasn't in danger before she was an elected official. She's a pretty white girl from Brooklyn. What are we talking about? Now that she's an elected official, now she has the fucking money and the fucking security to speak out. I'm guessing most of these elected officials did not have the security to speak out. They're not a pretty woman that got into, no offense to pretty women. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to AOC. There just aren't very many of them. When a pretty woman decides to stop being a server and get into politics and she didn't have the money, her platform is built off DSA principles, democratic socialist principles. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Every Democrat should be voting against, they should have voted against Hegseth. They should have voted against fucking Tulsi Gabbard. But again, this is the FBI's doing. Their failure to prosecute Donald Trump and now their ultimate destruction. There's rumored to be thousands of fucking layoffs today. Hey, that's all on y'all. He's gutting you because you didn't do shit about this. Merrick Garland, Christopher Wray. Yeah, I see why y'all stepped down now because he'd have fucking tarred and feather you publicly. Yep. And I want to know. I want a Democrat to tell us why they're voting to confirm these people. Yep. I'd rather see the government come to a complete standstill. Oh, we're appointing them because they'll shut down the government. Shut it down. Shut it down. Elon's got access to the treasury. People aren't able to access their food stamps. What are we talking about? Does it have to be Medicaid? Does it have to be somebody's Social Security? Does it have to be the dissolution of unions? As Donald Trump's signing all these anti-union bills. And it's like, where are the police unions? That's why I made the video I made where I called law enforcement officers and federal agents pussies. Because he's dissolving your unions and he's fucking with your money and you ain't doing shit about it. It ain't just Democrats. I told you this is a rich versus poor thing. They're the Republican Party is Russian assets. The Democratic Party are Israeli assets. Why do you think that there's been a genocide bought and paid for by US dollars in Gaza? The US needs an ally in the Middle East. you can bet your ass Israel settles Gaza, builds big military compounds. US is able to exert control over the Middle East for the next 20 fucking years. Don't ever go there. Dear God, if they build a US military base in Gaza, don't join the military. That's what I would say. You know what I mean? Get out of the military if you think that you might end up in Guantanamo Bay. You know what I mean? Because it's clear it's become clearer every day. The US military is not going to do anything, feds ain't going to do anything, police ain't going to do anything. Police are property protectors. They're not cowboys. Same thing with feds. They're white collar laborers now. There's no fucking James Bond. There's no Jason Bourne. That shit's not real. Why do you think I'm like, we have to start a socialist party in the United States? Because you have to build off of that. It's almost like you have to become a socialist nation together, everybody. And that's what your government is for. And if it's not for that, it's not for anyone. It's not for anyone. Because what's going to happen is rich people are just going to buy their way into power and take all our money. See example? That's why socialism is a must. That must be the function of the government, is to provide socialism to the American people. And it's almost like if you're not a socialist, you shouldn't be running for public office, because think about public office. Your job is to officiate the public. Your job is to manage the public. Right? Office of Personnel Management. Right? So yeah. The thing that um Donald Trump has going against him is that he's going to want to give unlawful orders. He is want to put us into conflict. He's literally talking about invading Greenland, Mexico, Panama Canal, Canada, allies of ours, which is insane. And if he ever does give the orders, that's going to be a problem. Because there's no way we comply. No way. But here's some good news. A landmine killed Russia's highest ranking officer in Ukraine. And the crowd goes wild. That's like a home run. That made my whole day. Here, I'll say it again. A landmine killed Russia's highest ranking official in Ukraine. Oh, by the way, Donald Trump levying tariffs is illegal. He can't actually do that. So even though he's acting like he's tariffing everyone, that's not real. Now, their retaliatory tariffs might be. But keep in mind, the US doesn't produce shit here. We import everything. So, what's stupid, do you understand? Yeah. Slava Ukraini, right? Free Palestine, right? Like I said, justice doesn't mete itself out like you or I want it to. Only matters if someone enforces the law. Understand that most of these firings are illegal. Yeah, Kel. As I said, the entire Republican Party takes AI PAC money and then about 100 Democrats take AI PAC money, and the leading Democrat recipient of AI PAC money is Hakeem Jeffries. I'm just stating facts. hmm I'm tired of hearing it's illegal or he's doing everything illegal. Yeah, yeah, I get it. It's real easy to get caught up in the shit, but there's this thing called the Federal Register, and that's what tells you whether something's going to go into effect or not. And Donald Trump signed over 430 executive orders and presidential orders, and on the Federal Register, meaning like the shit that's actually going to go into effect, is less than like 35. So he's real loud and angry and wrong a lot. But most of what he's done is going to get contested and thrown out of court, and he doesn't actually have that power. And I'm going to keep saying it. The president doesn't have the purse strings. The president doesn't have the purse strings. The president doesn't have the purse strings. And you can sit over there and just listen to everything Donald Trump says and let it fucking destroy you, you dumbass. But as soon as there's money involved, Donnie doesn't have that fucking ability. It's not his job. It's all for show. Way to get caught up in that though. You see how I don't have big bags under my eyes because I sleep like a baby. 8 hours a night. If I need to take a nap, I'll take a nap. I'll go lay down during the day. And yes, I do have bags under my eyes. It's just a joke. But like, think about it. Like, some of those federal judges he can't touch. They're lifetime appointments. I know. It's tough. It's hard out here for a pimp. You know what I mean? But if you just gotta read, babies, you just gotta read. You gotta have a Department of Justice that'll do something. That isn't. Here's the thing though. I think things are gonna change because the stock market's crashing. You can't have the people that were allowing the overthrow of the government lose money now, can you? You gotta do something. Pimping ain't easy. No, man. More money, more problems, right? Whatever. Oh yeah, things are about to get really real. Yep. You're welcome. I told you let me be your barometer. I was 10 minutes late today. I'm fucking pissed. Elon Musk groomed the people that hacked into the treasury. And how do I know that? Because I'm a fucking data analytics student at Purdue University who's dipping into fucking programming, and how long it would take you to teach someone how to do all that? Years. How long would it take to plan this? Years. They're all under 25. Do some math in your head, kids. He groomed the shit out of them. All of them. And why did he use a young team of kids? Because they'd have no perspective. They have no idea what they're doing. To them it's fun. Okay? Know that there have been protests, as far as I know, since at least Friday. There was a massive protest in Dallas yesterday. There was a massive protest in LA yesterday. There was he's got some kid in there got second place in hacking in like middle school, like 6 years ago. Yeah, that's my whole thing. I've been saying that if he like this is a little hiccup, right? What happened? But if he wants to do like more effective shit, it's gonna be ending SNAP, ending Medicaid, Medicare, stealing people's social security, and having access to it means they expect to have future access to it. So it's like the crime's already been committed. Most Americans are too ignorant to know what democracy holds. So they wouldn't know what it holds. They can't carry it. They can't touch it. It doesn't benefit them directly. So they discarded it, much like all of the shit you learned in high school. And it's a world problem. So one of the things that I don't really like is people dividing us up. Everyone I've met everywhere is fucking ignorant and wonderful and intelligent and stupid and racist and fucking bigoted in their own fucking way and just as goddamn awful everywhere. So to lump all Americans together and say y'all don't deserve democracy is goddamn stupid. When Donald Trump cheated in the election, it's pretty fucking clear to me. Kamala Harris won this shit going the fuck away by last I checked about 4 million fucking votes. So yeah, I have a real problem with anybody saying like Americans don't deserve democracy. Like, fuck you. Russia influenced our election just like they did all over the world. And until that information comes out, until that information is public and we hash that the fuck out, I would appreciate if you wouldn't come into my podcast and say Americans don't deserve democracy. Go motherfucking fuck yourself. How about that? Wherever you're from. We're in this together. It is an up versus down thing, not a left versus right thing. And there ain't no way there's rich people in my fucking chat, right? There is a path forward. It's going to be very uncomfortable. The Democrats and Republicans are in cahoots. They're working together. They're bending the knee. So we have to form a new political party free of all of them. We have to build up our base and put socialists in every elected position nationwide, in every city, in every town, in every state. People just drop Republican and Democrat and pick up, I'm a socialist. I want everyone to have universal health care, education, income, and housing. And I'm going to do everything in my power as an elected official to implement socialism in my community, in my city, in my state, in my region, in my part of the country, nationwide, whatever. And if we don't, well, millions of people are just going to die. And it's not like I have a choice. I've been talking about it, so I'm going to do it. And technically, you don't have to like, in all caps, are you trolling us? What? So yeah, I like democracy too, but I also I don't want to feel like my politicians are cowards. So I think that it's like the damage is done, and now the Democrats are going to attempt to pick up the pieces and expect us to give them money while they run for public office. For them to do what? For them to do what? Right? Mhm. They aren't cowards, they're complicit. Yeah. Yeah. Now's the time. Right. If we weren't passionate about democracy, we wouldn't be here talking and listening to each other, right? What's what's hilarious is I had somebody reach out to me and they were like, "Aren't you afraid to call feds and cops pussies?" And I'm like, "Why would they even be mad at me? I'm not fucking up your paycheck. I'm not dissolving your unions. I'm not firing federal fucking agents, the people you aspire to be. Why the fuck? I'm calling you a pussy. It's like the white collar kids that you beat up in fucking high school are stealing your fucking lunch money. Still, you know what I mean? And don't get caught up in vigilantism either. Yeah, me too, Valerie. Keep in mind, here's what maybe y'all didn't catch. Maybe we didn't do a good enough job of telling you that Democrats aren't stupid. You never interrupt your enemy while they're making a mistake. Loose lips sink ships. You're in a war. We've been saying it, right? What about the executive order? It has like here's my thing. We can know what we know and have expectations, but until they're met, man, that's a bad feeling, huh? Like we think we know what the course of action should be. And at every turn it just hasn't happened. And again, I will say until the day that I die that I think Donald Trump and Elon Musk are treasonous, and a whole bunch of elected officials are. And I happen to catch the vibe, and all these right wingers are awful quiet. Donald Trump's awful quiet. Where are all the parades? Where's this big celebration that Donald Trump's going to invest his money in celebrating his presidency? Where is that? Why is everything that he's done since he got into office been at to the detriment of the American? Maybe he's trying to demoralize you so you won't fight back against him. Maybe he's trying to unemploy the people most capable of fighting against him. And that eventually what's going to happen is Joe Biden's secession plans are going to drop that investigation in a federal judge's lap. And so I get it. Everybody's like freaking out, man. All I'm saying is I thought the rules applied to everyone eventually, equally eventually. February 3rd's 90 days. Yeah, because that's how math works. Not because like I can't also uphold and expect the institutions to do their goddamn jobs. I can just tell you what this shit. Oh, for sure. 100%. This is Russian propaganda. Like for the record, if you're super fucking sad right now, Russia's winning. If you aren't like emboldened, like she said only when it's darkest will you truly see the stars. Did you think it was a Democrat? The stars. She said stars. Not not feds, socialists. The American Socialist Party, a political party, mhm, comes to power in the face of fascism, heavily supported by veterans. I can promise you, the moment a veteran finds out the American Socialist Party was founded by a United States Marine Corps infantry veteran, yeah, I'm in. What does he want to do? Universal health care, education, income, and housing? How does he want to pay for it? Oh, he wants to federally legalize cannabis, turn it into a crash cop to fight climate change here in the United States, encourage people to buy pieces of land, grow gardens, give away your yield, uh, put up solar panels, and provide power to a whole neighborhood and make us less reliant on things. Obviously, I'm hopeful that the legal process plays itself out and that Donald Trump is largely doing all of this thing in a crescendo order, right? Today is supposed to be a mass firing of federal agents. It also happens to be 90 days from the day of the election. Again, I think it's all coming to a crescendo. And as in music, when the beat, everything's kind of building, and it gets to the, you know what I mean? So I mean, it's okay, but you have to plan for the best possible outcome, knowing that the worst possible outcome is still on the table. So I can totally even-handed say props to the Democrats for not caving to Russian misinformation, for focusing on controlling what they can control, fighting them on the executive orders and presidential orders they can fight him on. Ultimately, he's batting like under 10%. Most of his firings are illegal. His tariffs are illegal. He doesn't hold the purse strings. He can't spend money. He can't, like him freezing federal funds is illegal. He doesn't have that ability. The only reason he did that is because everybody wasn't at work. Elon Musk being given access to SCIF facilities, which again, that feels like using a word that's part of an acronym. The only reason he did that is because nobody was there. It was a weekend. Yeah, your teachers in high school were not excited to teach you about socialism. They were excited, though, to teach you about Hitler. Like, this is what happens when you don't have socialism as a foundation of your government. Like I said, oh, you could easily nationwide think it takes, there's less than 1,000, how many, how many elected officials, how many elected officials are there in the United States? 542 federal offices, president, vice president, 100 U.S. senators, two from each state, 435 U.S. representatives, four delegates to the House of Representatives from U.S. territories and District of Columbia, and one resident commissioner from the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. So, in my eyes, that's less than 1,200 people. And so, you only have to put 1,200 people in office, all of them socialists, who actually want to perform the function of the job and are socialists. So they'll not only serve their whole term, they'll do it dutifully, right? They'll follow the rules and regulations and laws. Their objective won't be to reduce fucking benefits or take them away type shit, but to expand the reach and role and improve the position. That's it's less than 1,500 fucking. There's 1,500 fucking or 1,200 or less elected officials in the United States. Yeah, all his executive orders are illegal and unconstitutional, being contested. Hmm? I've said that. But again, they're also voting to confirm Hegseth. They're potentially going to, and I don't even want to talk about the other people that they're potentially confirming. The confirmation of Hegseth is concerning. Amy Klobuchar's behavior is concerning. She's trying to cash some checks. Do you honestly think we're going to have another election for president? It depends on the outcome of the Executive Order 13848 and prosecution of election crimes document. It depends on how they perceive election interference. Remember, I've been saying this from moment one that if you want to talk about this election and what you could do to fix it, bomb threats. Bomb threats, bomb threats, bomb threats. There were over 200 bomb threats on election day. It was underreported. They only told you there were 80 bomb threats in mostly black polling places. That's all they told you publicly. There were more than 200. There are more than 4.4 million votes that did not get counted in this election. Donald Trump won this election by 125,000 votes. The ODNI didn't get fired yet and also hasn't put out an all clear. So again, yeah, the flag changed on the government websites. Yeah. Again, they're trying to incite us so they can declare martial law. Donald Trump's going to declare martial law. He was going to do it anyway. Just know that I have no expectation of anyone in the U.S. military putting their hands on or putting rounds on American citizens that aren't traitors to the United States. And I'm speaking specifically to Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and his ilk. All them. But again, I can't imagine someone in the U.S. military turning and firing on innocent American people. Can't even imagine it. In fact, you should be separated from the military if you're having ideation of killing Americans. You know, it's one of the reasons that I joined the service is because I was working a second job and I got shot at by guys from around the block like it wasn't nothing. You know what I mean? Like I lived in the city and worked in the city. You know what I mean? Wait, she said all Dems voted against Hegseth plus 3 Republicans. Count was 51-50 no's. So wait, he is or isn't Vance broke? I thought it was he wasn't allowed to do that. I mean, Squint, that'd be fucking great, man. It'd be great if the U.S. military. I mean, hey, I'll put it like this: taking the fucking security detail away from Mark Milley. Oh, them's fucking fighting words. You know what I mean? I hope they say no to Patel, Gabbard, and RFK. Same thing with Hegseth. Yeah, I know Heron, but I don't think that's how that's supposed to work. I don't think Vance is supposed to break that tie. I don't think he's supposed to do that. No, for some reason I read that like what Vance did to break the tie to confirm Hegseth was not within the rules or some shit. Hey, I'm just telling you what like. Obviously, he's the fucking Secretary of Defense, so like, like he won. But it's like, hey, like somebody said like Vance what in that spot he wasn't supposed to be breaking that tie. Because he's not unbiased. Yeah, it's just it's like Republicans are yeah, he did it. He definitely did it. He's definitely SecDef. But again, they're on recess. And you don't normally appoint people and put them in those positions. It's going to take a while. Of course, I'm right. Like, yeah, they don't give a fuck. They're just everything that isn't a hard, fast rule. They're just like, fuck it. Who cares? Yeah, but there's some rule about like except in instances where they would be unbiased, and then it should just revote. That's all I'm saying. Like he's the Secretary of Defense. Vance broke the fucking tie. But I read somewhere that like in that spot he wasn't supposed to be the tie-breaking vote. Does that make sense? Because he wouldn't be unbiased in that spot, right? I get it. But yeah, I was on that action call last night, and there were elected officials on there were organizers on there, and we'll see. We'll see what fighting back against this looks like, and that will shape how I feel. I still think I still want to establish the American Socialist Party. I still want to build out that platform. Um, One of the things that will drive me away from the Democrats forever is their handling of the situation in Gaza. As I've said before, free Palestine. Um, I am not um, pro-Israel at all. For the record, my best friend when I was a little kid was a Jewish boy. His name was Patrick Vonish, and we actually went to college together, and we're friends in college too. And so, like, I grew up around Jewish culture, and Jews are not inherently pro-Israel. I just want to make sure everyone knows that. I mean, I've been to synagogue. Um, not not everyone that is Jewish is pro-Israel. Many people are pro-Palestinian that you would think are not. I'm definitely one of them, but again, I'm Slava Ukraini, um, free Palestine, all that. Bernie, I think he is an independent with socialist tendencies. I don't know that he's an out socialist. You see, JFK was pro-union, and I'm very pro-union as well. Um, and also had some socialist ideas, and he got murdered, right? And the feds. And understand the FBI's never had a Republican or a Democrat in charge of it. It's always been Republican led. So Jewish Voice for Peace, if not now, Groups Against the Genocide, yeah. Like I said, I want to make sure I don't speak for Jewish people and they're not a monolith. So like one size fits all does not apply here. But I am also saying instead of saying not just saying they're not a monolith, um, I've met a lot of Jewish people over the course of my life, and I've met very few pro-Israel people. You know what's crazy? I've met a whole bunch of Jewish people, and none of them were pro-Israel. And my uncle is so pro-Israel that when we pray to Jesus, we talk about protecting the IDF and Israel as a state. So I think the reason that people aren't socialist is because they're afraid of the backlash, the violence. But we're past that now. We're all in danger. We're all going to die well before we should have. Climate change, if not political violence, climate change. That's how most of us are going to go. So establishing, myself as the head of the American Socialist Party and saying like I fully expect to die well before I should. Like I thought Bernie should have been the presidential nominee in 2016. I feel like he would have beat Donald Trump. And I understand that Hillary Clinton did also beat Donald Trump. But yeah, What's crazy is like if you like pay attention to media over the course of your life, like socialism doesn't exist because capitalism does. Because capitalism is so prevalent worldwide, there's no socialism. Like because you work and because we work at jobs that don't pay us enough under this capitalist regime, we could have socialism. I'd like to see what heights we'd climb when your children don't know what student loans are. I want to know who you are without all that debt. That's what I tell the people that I work for. I want to make sure I tell them. I want to know who you are without all that debt. Who would you be then? Obviously, I can't say that. It's not part of the script. So I could just say it here. But I mean it. Like I think about who I was before I had a mortgage, before I was married. I'm a, I like who I am now a lot more, but debt changes you. It will sit your ass down, make you think real hard about what you're doing. And think about this. I just started a job that I hope to keep forever or as long until I don't need anymore. So I find something better than this. Um, my goal with the excess money I make outside of my little socialist projects is to pay off my house. Not because I feel trapped and I don't want to be in my relationship and I don't want to be in this house and all that shit. No. It's like when you buy a house, you have to keep up the house because its value is inherently rising and you may be forced to sell it and you wouldn't want a house worth a half a million to sell for 300,000. That means that your actions directly contributed to you losing $200,000 on the sale price of your home. So you buy a house, now you're stuck here and now you have to maintain property. Like we had trees die since I bought my house. I got an estimate for three dead trees to get removed, a little over $1,000. And instead, or I could have filed a homeowner's insurance. I had dead trees are gonna fall on my house. My you know, my cousin came out here and cut them down, cut up the wood, and took it all away for free. Like he took the firewood because we don't use our chimney. Otherwise, those trees fall on my house. So this is the allegory why I made the video I made this morning on social media calling police officers and federal agents pussies and bitches, cowards. Because my whole life, police officers and federal agents are hard asses and they're the law and they'll jerk you around and throw you on the ground. Dude, I have a friend that got thrown on the ground and they knocked out all his front teeth. But and you're gonna let Elon Musk, who groomed his IT squad, his little nerd squad, and hacked the treasury, they're dissolving your unions right in front of your face. And they're gonna make it through the end of the week. If Donald Trump was a person of color, if Elon Musk was a person of color, they'd be dead already. That's how fucked we are. Because I can promise you, the reason that nothing's happening to them is because Elon Musk, Elon Musk intimidates people. Why do you think all these people are just leaving their fucking jobs? Because they just get fucking intimidated, and then all of a sudden their office gets bombarded with phone calls. Fire them or else, right? Exactly. So when I make a video and I lash out and I say, I'm not talking about veterans, they're actually hard asses. They actually have to pull the trigger on the bad guy. But cops, you're property protectors. Remember that. And that part of part of my political platform depends on how this ultimately gets resolved. If the DOJ and law enforcement step up, do their fucking job, put the bad guy down or take him into custody and try his ass, you can keep them as institutions. But if they fail to check Elon Musk, Donald Trump, as they dissolve unions, as they steal your fucking social security, like what good are the police then? What good are federal agents then? Sit around and do nothings? Sit around, like, think about this. Think about this. Think about this. January 2024. So 11, 13 months ago. Yeah, this isn't a red or blue thing. This is a rich versus poor thing. Okay. 13 months ago, my employer fucked my paycheck up for the second time in 90 days. And I didn't take a fucking phone call after that as an act of revolt. I clocked in every day for the next 3 months. They paid me and I didn't take a fucking phone call. You fucked my paycheck up? Oh, hell no. You're going to pay me until you go out of fucking business. That's exactly right. Okay? You see how I behaved when they fuck up my paycheck? I didn't quiet quit. I got everyone else to quiet quit. I got my benefits on Friday, which was striking because it was before the first. Like I got them early. Like there was some impact on my benefits. You know what I mean? It just felt awkward. RFK was shot by police officer escort. Saren was Patsy, MK Ultra. Yeah, and it's pretty. Oh, one thing I wanted to talk about is Mike Flynn and his direct involvement in a lot of these terrorist acts and airline crashes. I want to make sure everyone knows that all of the dissolution of the FAA is to cover up Elon Musk's SpaceX's shuttle crash on January 17th. So I'm going to say it again because that was a lot. All of this shit's going on with all these airplanes crashing and helicopters and shit and the dissolution of the FAA is all to cover up a space shuttle crash that happened on January 17th. If you look at the timeline, I thought, yeah, I thought we weren't going to get them or we were going to get them late, and instead we got it early, and I was just like, hmm. So, and then they didn't get access to the treasury until like after that. So you got to one, and then I've again, like I said, I've seen people's SNAP benefits be fucked up, and not like tons, but like enough to be like, hey, it fucked up some people's shit. I heard that 22 states were still reporting issues as of like Saturday night. But yeah, the reason that all of this is happening, all of the airplane crashes, all of the dissolution of the FAA is all to cover up SpaceX's shuttle crash. Elon Musk, SpaceX were being investigated for cutting corners. And on January 17th, they had a space shuttle go down. Today is the 3rd. Yes. Valerie, today is February 3rd. Banks are on Monday State. After 5 on Friday, banks are on Monday State. Tracks. So yeah. How's everybody feeling? I'm feeling good. Protests went on all weekend. There's a large organized protest at your state capital or whatever capital is closest to you. Okay. We were only saying your name, Valerie, because we care about you. There's a protest. Every state capital, all 50 states. Encouraging you to make signs, to take care of yourselves. Um, yeah. I break just like anybody else. I am paper mache, just like all the rest of us. But ultimately, I'm going to try to maintain my hope in our institutions to carry out their duties that they're bound to do, bound by their jobs, you know? So we all got paid early. Why? Well, I think it's because Donald Trump can't actually pause federal spending. He doesn't have the purse strings. That's not his job. Because the first fell on a weekend, it fell on a Saturday. So we got paid early. It wasn't hard to figure out. Protest. If you're freaking out, go protest. Go get that energy out. Go bandy about. Go make sure stay in large groups. Don't split up. Don't engage. Do not fight. Definitely do not test the police. There was a protest last night. Hey, my generation and younger, millennials and younger, it's on us. These old people had too much lead in their water and they're too stupid. So the people, I mean, and of course there's exceptions. There's plenty of older people that are fucking wonderful, but on the whole, too many of these older people had too much fucking lead in their water, and they're gonna let you down. Millennials are younger, right? I'd say boomers, but I mean like boomers is kind of their fault. Okay. Yeah, when you don't get paid, freak out. I'm freaking out, man. Same with Monday pay, post on Friday after 5. Yeah, the way I always felt like with benefits is you're gonna get paid early more than late. As Gen X, I'm offended. I'm kidding. You understand? Like I spent this whole time saying it's an up-down issue, not a left-right issue, and then I start shitting on fucking generations, right? There is a chart though about lead in the water supply, and I just want to point out that I lived on a well from 4th grade until I graduated high school. So I otherwise try to filter my water. I recommend you do the same. I would tell you to do shit like grow a garden, get to know your neighbors, You know, we've grown a community here. What do I think of Benjamin Netanyahu being here? God, I hope the ICC is here. Lucky for me, I didn't drink leaded water. Yeah, but I'm just saying, a lot of people did though, and that's a lot of our problem. Like, you know, you can really see the effects of drugs and lead in our water supply when you look at RFK Jr.'s face, right? Come on, that was hilarious. You can clip that. That was fucking funny. I'll say it again, 'cause I know you're fucking laughing. You can tell the effects, the long-term effects of hard drug use paired with lead in the water supply, all when you look at RFK Jr. in the face. Buy lead-free toothpaste. Now you're just freaking me out, man. Dude, hose water on a hot day was the best. I lived on a well, so fortunately that water wasn't leaded. It was filtered. We changed the filters out. When did Brita filters come out? Brita's a German company, by the way. Pills. I'm sick of all your pitching, not your poodle and your pills. Just can't seem to teach about you. Oh, by the way, if you want to give me some money, buddy, here's my Cash App. I gotta go to work. Get this off my chest. There's only so many times I think. It's an in the opera. Muffin Uncle Biff. The swine. The attitude may take like shit, but go real good with wine. Eat the red. Only one thing, baby, get out. Hey, WD, I was just over here thinking about how much fucking lead I've ingested in my toothpaste. I would think if it had lead in it, you would fucking know. But yeah, I put my Cash App, my PayPal, my Venmo in the thing in the comments. I was gonna say, goddamn, we're all gonna die. There's lead in your fucking toothpaste? Oh, you're dead. You're dead. That means you got it in your gums and shit. You got it in your tongue. Dude, I brush my tongue. That shit has lead in it? Oh man, we're dead. They're long dead. The toothpaste issue is fluoride. Thank you, Christina. Shove it up your ass. Brush with charcoal and coconut oil. You fucking with me? Oh yeah, Donald Trump tried to cut USAID. He doesn't have the ability to do that either. I know you are. Y'all have a good day, okay? I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta go to work. Loving an elevator. Hmm. Peppermint oil, charcoal, and coconut oil. But lead-free toothpaste is good to look out for also. Hey, Bob making the fucking nut point of the show. Please, dear God, do not buy leaded toothpaste. So keep an eye out for that. Uh, don't buy that. Don't put that in your mouth.